The Chicago Bulls reject a trade that would have sent Nikola Vučević to the Atlanta Hawks for Clint Capela. It's not shocking, but the reason why, maybe that's what's going to shock everybody. We're going to talk about all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, hosted by Haize, your number one spot for all things Chicago Bulls.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. Real quick one. The Chicago Bulls, apparently, this according to HP Basketball, two sources shared, the Hawks had contacted the Bulls about a swap of Capela's expiring contract for Nikola Vučević. But that's the Bulls wanted other assets attached, presumably because of other deals he's been discussed in. So it seems like the Atlanta Hawks were trying to obtain Nikola Vučević. They're basically offering the expiring contract of Clint Capela outright. And that the Bulls more so wanted other assets attached, which, as we've talked about multiple times, they absolutely should have, right? Now, the Hawks were unwilling to match that, and apparently the Bulls had let on in these other people who got the impression is because of what the Bulls had been offered in other deals. Now, that does not necessarily mean that the Bulls have been offered things in other deals that they want. It just may mean that they were offered more than what the Atlanta Hawks were willing to offer in regards to that. And okay, cool. I mean, that's how the trade market works, right? You're supposed to try to get the most back. There's no point in taking an expiring deal if you're getting back offers for assets that you actually want. And it is what it is when it comes down to it. I don't think anybody's really too surprised that the Bulls didn't want to take Clint Capela back. He's 30 years old. He's starting to be on the downside, even though Clint Capela has cooked the Bulls here in recent memory. We're talking about like recent as in like just last season, right? But, it makes some sense for the Bulls not to bite at everything. And I think this goes further to prove that the Bulls aren't just trading players just to trade them. This is a deal that potentially would have given up the Bulls more cap space next season with not having to worry about having Nikola Vučević's contracts on the books. And what this tells me is that the Bulls are fully ready to hold on to Nikola Vučević, and it's not just because of the money that they may look to move on from him, which I think is actually a smart deal when it comes down to it. So, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. The trade wouldn't have done shit for the Bulls without a pick. As we can see, the Bulls front office clearly doesn't want deals back longer than 2 years, and keeping Vooch doesn't affect that, so picks are needed. Vaughn just laid it all out for y'all, right? The Bulls are fine as long as the money it doesn't go past a certain point, right? That's part of why they did not want to take back Zeke Naji in his contract, right? So I think that this may mean a couple of things, right? And this is my own personal, what I'm taking from this is that this could mean that the Bulls maybe they have a free agency in mind that maybe they want to take a swing at, or maybe it is that they're looking at some of the players that are coming up for extensions on their roster that they need to prepare for. Josh Giddey, Coby, Io. These are just players that are coming up for contract extensions in the next 2 off seasons. They've already picked up the final year in Dalen Terry's contract, so that is what it is there, right? They got to start looking at these things. And so that could be why the Bulls right now are focused on that. And and the reason why I wanted to talk about this, because this goes to prove for the Bulls fans that are still holding out hope that there's going to be some magical sell everything off type of rebuild. It's not going to happen. That's not what this team is doing. This is not what this team is aiming out to do. I get why people want to rebuild. I understand all of that, but it's not happening. By the way, y'all see the new Bulls and Bears heads? I know it may not be able to. Can y'all tell a difference from there? These mugs look good. I'm just looking. I'm sorry. They look good. It's metal now rather than the foam posit that I had there. It's metal. Nonetheless, so it just makes sense, man, for the Bulls to not just take back anything to just rebuild. That's not what the Bulls are doing. A full rebuild is not coming. I've been telling you that Pat's been telling y'all that. Most people have been telling. I know there are some other Bulls creators that are calling for it, and I understand why. But this is another step of proving why they're not going full rebuild. This would have been a full rebuild move. If you take back Clint Capela and nothing else back for Vooch, not only would you have gotten completely flamed, you would have lost the face of your fan base, but that would have been a move that signaled a full rebuild's coming. A full rebuild is not coming. It's not happening. Exactly, Philip. The Bulls need picks. If the Bulls are moving on from their players that are still playing at a high level, it's going to be because they're getting picks back for the future. That's what this is, right? And so I got to commend. Listen, this is a sign that the Bulls at least aren't making stupid deals. That's we'll go for that one, right? Not making stupid deals. We'll take that part of it. But now you got to make the smart ones. Now you got to see what you're going to do, right? So recouping some assets makes some sense in regards to it. Josh says, I don't know how to feel about this. Should Bulls fans be annoyed or what unless if we're only getting back second round picks? Well, in this reportedly, there were no picks. They wanted the Bulls to take back Clint Capela because it's an expiring contract. That's not going to happen here, y'all. That's not. I won't lie, though. Having a front line of Jalen Johnson and Nikola Vučević. Now, I know Jalen Johnson's out with injury now, but that might have been something. I would love to see if they can get Fox. Everyone is expendable to pair with Levine, Coby, Vooch, and whoever else. I'm just saying Fox is a dude. They're not. They don't have the assets. First, they want picks. We don't have picks. We can't trade any picks into 2030. As it stands right now, we cannot trade any picks into 2030. They want win now players. I'm sorry, I hate to tell y'all, but Patrick Williams is not a win now player. Coby White, maybe you can try to convince yourself of that, but with his inconsistency right now, they're going to be able to get better offers than that. So the Bulls just aren't going to be able to get in the De'Aaron Fox. I talked about that on today's episode. It's impossible for the Bulls to get involved in trying to bring De'Aaron Fox to Chicago. It's just not possible. So, yo, that hoodie is fire. I appreciate that. Clint ain't it. He has fell off since he was at Houston. Didn't he have one good season in Atlanta? I could be wrong on that. I thought he had one real good, like double high efficiency season in Atlanta, but I could be wrong on that. Did he not? Am I tripping? There? I could be tripping. But either way, I mean, he's washed up now, right? Like, it is what it is. Like, Clint Capela at one point in time, I do think would have been like a really good center for this version of the Bulls team, but he's not that guy anymore, right? He's not as mobile as what he is. He's not good at switching on defense as what he is. He's not the same rim protector as what he was before. So, you know, it is what it is. Like, it is that's a 5-year too late trade, right? 5 years too late. I feel like a full rebuild may be a feel-good moment for now, given we'd have a solidified direction. I doubt being completely garbage for the next 10 years will feel the greatest. Well, I don't think that the Bulls would necessarily, if they were to go full rebuild, which, keep in mind, that doesn't mean you trade everybody. That means you trade some of your best players and you just get whatever you can back. But I don't necessarily like the Bulls keep their top 10 pick this year. I'm just saying they're not going to. If the Bulls were to go full rebuild, that would probably mean that they actually keep their top 10 pick in the next 2 years, well, top 8, right? So if you're adding Modest, a top 10 pick this year, 2 top 10 picks in the next 2 years as well, that's 4 picks that are in Modest, and then 3 top 10, top 8 picks over the next 3 years to add to that with Io. If you keep Io, I don't necessarily think that would be a team that's far off from maybe competing for a playing spot if you get the right guys and develop them. But then that's a huge if, right? So, you know, it is what it is. I just want them to keep Io, Glasses, and Coby. That's crazy. That's crazy. I missed it. What was the trade again? Got to go back to the beginning. Do the Chicago Bulls have Lonzo's bird rights if they wanted to? Yeah. He's what do you mean? He's been under contract here for 4 years. Yeah, bro, they do. I'll just messing with you fishing time. It was just Clint Capela for Vooch straight up as an expiring contract. That's all it was. Levine and Vooch are worse first-round picks, especially with how they've been playing this season. Facts. 100% agree with you on that one. De'Aaron Fox of the Bulls is not happening. We got to think it's the Spurs. You have to outbid, and they have our asset currently draft-wise. They also actually have promising young. Well, even if you take away our asset, right, our draft asset, the Spurs have 3 other picks in the 2025 draft. Even if the Bulls keep their pick, they got 3 picks. They got 2 first round picks in the next 2 drafts. They got 2 first round picks and one's heavily protected in the draft after that. I didn't realize before this De'Aaron Fox thing came out that the Spurs have quietly accumulated a shit ton of picks over the next 3-4 drafts. A shit ton of picks. So yeah, man. Yeah, it's I don't think anybody's going to be able to match the Spurs for a De'Aaron Fox move. I know the front office wants picks, but as a Bulls fan, we are stuck in purgatory. We don't fully trust AK with the draft selection, and we don't trust Billy to develop and play said talent. I get that, but I mean, yeah, it is what it is, right? Yo, Haize, if we assume the Lively injury hasn't affected this, is the Gafford trade still a possibility with how good he's playing, and would draft assets be attached to? I don't know. I really don't know. I've done some reading on that as well. I haven't really gotten a feel either way from what Mavs media people think. I think it comes down to internally how sure that Lively's coming back and is going to be ready to go by the playoffs. Because if they don't think that, I don't think that they make a move on Gafford right now. Villa from Portland would be nice in the Chicago uniform. I tell you what, I'd rather have him than P. Will right now. And I wouldn't have said that 2 years ago. It is what it is. Justin says that would have been a bad trade. That would have been a terrible trade. Terrible trade. I disagree since they had 4 straight picks in the top 10 but that was a completely different front office that made a lot of those picks. Completely different front office. And we all know that Gar Forman at that point was not drafting to think about fit. He was hoping something stuck to the wall. And Laurie ended up being the right pick. The Bulls just didn't develop him. The thing that hurt Laurie so much is the fact that we had Jim Boylan. So you can't say because I can tell you, all right, well, then what about if that's what we're going to use? Look at what the Bulls were able to build when they had it before with Kirk, Ben, even though they lost one there with Jay Williams, Dang, right? So if we're going to use history, let's not just pick the history just that we don't like, right? If that's what we're going to use. Dre Day says, hey, Haize, what's going on, Dre Day? Seems like you may be new here. If not, shout out to you. Shout out for your return and shout out to your first time. I feel like it would definitely be accelerated, especially with what we currently have. It's really hard to see how the vast amount of inconsistencies, what would be a path to comp. I feel where you're coming. That's a fair question there. No, you're not getting. No, the Bulls are not getting. They're not getting Fox. You're not getting Fox. We're not. We could. There is no way that we can get into the De'Aaron Fox thing. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. I feel that. Oh, I already read this one. Shout out to Michael. I already read that one. Mavs are depleted in the center position. They're not trading Gafford. Well, the point would be they're trading Gafford for a center, right? That's what the question was, because he's picking up on a former rumor. So they'd be trading Gafford to get another center in there. So that's where you go on that one. But we'll see. We'll see. Where did you get this hoodie from? I got this hoodie from. This is one of my new. This is actually new. So this isn't something that I've had for years. I actually can send the link on this one. I got this from Fanatics, but you gotta filter. So Fanatics got this hidden, and they know what they're doing. So I was going through Fanatics, and I was looking at. I filtered by new, and this didn't come up because it's part of a specific collection. So you gotta do. It's Chicago Bulls retro Mitchell and Ness hoodie. That's what it is, because it has all the retro logos. Like, people don't. This is an old alternate for the Chicago Bulls. This is an old alternate for the Chicago Bulls. So it's like all the Bulls' old retro logos. That's what this is. That's why you don't see like the modern Bulls logo on it. See the old Chicago font? Like, so it's every retro Bulls logo all on one hoodie. So there you go on that one. I thought this was dope too. I don't think it has anything on the back. Does it? No, it's nothing on the back. I wonder if that Warriors trade would be a 3-teamer because Kyle Anderson is a 3-year contract. Yeah, but Kyle Anderson's Kyle Anderson's contract's different. Get Gafford, he deserves a second chance with us. Yeah, but they got to be willing to give him up. I got to be willing to give them up. That's the thing, right? That's the thing. I'm trying to see if I can find a link for y'all real quick. I got to get ready to go get my son from school. Give me 1 second. I got to see if I can. Oh, shit. I just saw my next cop. Did y'all see that face? Hold on. My bad, y'all. Hold on. I got to add this to the cart. Give me 1 second. All right, there you go. There goes the link. Don't say I didn't tell y'all nothing. Sub Hayes, Warriors fan here. I don't want Vooch, to be honest. I would prefer something like Zach to Golden State for Schroeder, Buddy, Slow-Mo, GP, and an unprotected 2028 first round pick. That's 30 million expiring contracts. Yeah, but the problem is that we can't absorb all those contracts, and it doesn't seem like y'all had the chance. We offered y'all Zach LaVine for Chris Paul straight up, and y'all said no. You missed out on your opportunity. Do you still have hope for Patrick Williams? Here's the thing. I'm always going to have hope for anybody who's in a Bulls uniform. I'm just going to be frank with y'all. There's never a time where I'm going to be, let me not say that because I lost hope for Denzel. Here's the thing. I still see the potential in P. Will, but every day that goes by, I believe less and less that he's ever going to hit it. That just is what it is. I just don't believe he's going to hit that potential anymore. He still has tremendous potential, but I just don't believe it that he's going to hit that potential anymore. So these brands need to sponsor you because you plug us all the time. Sponsor me, you cheap son of a bitch. Like that, like not you. And I'm talking about these brands. Sponsor me, you cheap sons of bitches. You're absolutely right on that. The fact that they're not sponsoring your boy is criminal because they're the ones missing out on free marketing. Patrick plays good. No, he does not. He had one game off the bench and he scored 11 points and 8 rebounds. If you look at him historically off the bench, he's the exact same he always is. He played really great last game off the bench. Let's see it a little bit more before Loach, if you spam the same comment one more time, I'm blocking you from the channel. I've been letting it go, and I don't care that you're shitting on P. Will, but get creative. Stop leaving the same damn comment. Don't spam my chat with the same comment because I will block you from the channel. Get creative. Be funny about it. Have some fun with it. But don't spam the same comment over and over again. Hey, it's fun fact. I was the first person ever in your chat that you said the quote, "What are we doing?" because you didn't understand the comment. That sounds about right. That actually sounds about right. But the "what are we doing?" that's literally a phrase I've been saying my whole life. Like literally my whole life. So I used to say it like, so for example, like when I used to play football, when I was like younger and 5 years old or whatever, when we would get to the huddle and like after a play where like we lost plays or something, I'd be like, "What are we doing? What are we doing, y'all? What are we doing?" So yeah, that's just one of my things, man. I need that fit you wore yesterday. What? I don't even remember what I wore yesterday. I have no record. I just be putting shit on. I got that. I do indeed be having that shit on, but I just be going in the closet and seeing where the spirit takes me. But this new black and gray Bulls varsity jacket that I just put in the cart, and I'm not sending y'all the link till I secure mine first. But then I will give y'all the link after that. But this black and gray joint that I just saw, listen. I'm not saying that I'm a fly motherfucker, but I'm not saying I'm not a fly motherfucker, if you know what I'm saying. I do indeed have that shit on. Because that what I just put in the cart, I can't wait to payday. I'm just saying. But all right, so I got to go get ready to get my son from school. If I'm late to get Alan will literally be looking at me like I pulled up to the school 2 minutes late one day. And when I tell you Alan came down off that bench and the way that he looked through my car and was like, well, I walked to go get him from school, but the way that he looked at me was like, And I was like, you know what, son? My bad, yo. My bad. Don't beat me up, bro. Don't beat me up. But all right, y'all. I love you guys. Make sure you guys are following the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, but that's thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And I'll see y'all for the pregame show in about 3 hours. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.